This year we actually have to do some official, there's been so many legislative changes in public education that it can get a little bit frustrating, and they're even trying to mandate some of our opening presentations. So we have to get through some of that today. So welcome back. We all have to memorize the new educator evaluation regulation number. It's 603, no, we have to go back, I'm sorry, 603 CMR 35.04. So whenever anyone comes into your classroom and they say, what are you doing? They're going to say 603 CMR 35-04, and you'll know exactly what they're talking about. As part of the training this morning, though, the state is mandating that you all know how the superintendents are being evaluated, because we're so critical to everything that happens in the district every day. So, so Dennis, the next slide is going to be, these are the superintendent standards. They look somewhat similar to yours. They're a little bit different. And of course, instructional leadership, management and operations, family and community engagement, and professional culture. So we're going to have to break down each of these in terms of this morning's presentation, and we'll try to do it in a way that that makes sense, and also we'll try to do it in a way that I can gather evidence for my evaluation. So we're going to try to do a little bit of that. So that is, next slide. The educator rubric for all of you has 4 categories: exemplary, proficient, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory. Again, those are the summative categories of performance in each of those 4 standards. They couldn't use those 4 categories, though, for superintendent. So they came up with 4 for superintendent that start actually with unsatisfactory. And it goes to incompetent, demeaning, and criminal. So we're going to be looking at those this year in terms of the 4 standards. So if we can then start with standard 1, instructional leadership. Now, basically, this standard is where I get to take credit for all the work that you do. The work, obviously, in school districts happens in the classroom. It involves all of you. And the privilege of my job is really to be out in schools and in classrooms and watching all of you interact with children. And it's truly remarkable. And if I could, the best part of my job is when that happens. And if I could tell any of you, be superintendent for a day, what I would tell you to do is do that. Don't do any of the other crap, but do that. Be up in classrooms. You would just be amazed at the amount of talent that's in this room and how that happens. In the interaction that I see between you and students, again, is remarkable, because it really doesn't matter how they come to you. They can come to you being tremendously talented in an area, or be tremendously needing support. So I wanted to sort of better frame like those highs and lows, and I always picture how can I frame this in a way, and how sort of I would imagine how, when I walk in your classroom, how I imagine you speaking to your students. So this is how I imagine it poorly. And again, I always apologize ahead of time. Listen, baby. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby. You need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far. In a hurry, you don't need to worry, baby, there ain't